Sound Moves Where Music Meets Chess explores the unique intersection of chess and music. We tried to represent as many genres and unique musicians as possible. We have Katy Perry, Yoko Ono, Willie Nelson, the White Stripes, David Bowie, and Chuck Berry, just to name a few. In addition to musical performances and things like Chess the Music and the Queen's Gambit, we also have concert photos, concert posters, album covers, and really unique chess sets. The World Chess Hall of Fame doesn't just focus on the rich history of the game and its wonderful players. We also look at the cultural impact that the game has all over the world. We have a wonderful music series where each month we feature a regional artist and premier artists from the St. Louis Symphony. So after years of doing that, we knew it was time to do an exhibition that was dedicated to music.
Marina Toibina is already a legend in the entertainment industry, from her work on shows like So You Think You Can Dance and the first 6 seasons of The Masked Singer, to superstar tours by artists like Taylor Swift, Carrie Underwood, Ariana Grande, Usher, and many, many more.
I was so excited when I was at home in 2015 watching the Super Bowl halftime show and saw Katy Perry use chess in her iconic performance. Up until recently, it was the highest viewed Super Bowl halftime show with 121 million viewers. We knew immediately we had to bring this performance to the World Chess Hall of Fame.
I think one of the more unique intersections of music and chess in the exhibition is the interesting relationship between the iconic musician and author Patti Smith and the legendary chess player Bobby Fischer. Smith had been fascinated with Fischer since they met briefly when she was working at Scribner's bookstore in New York in the 1960s. And in the early 1970s, she had the opportunity to photograph the chessboard where, or the chess table where Bobby Fischer and Boris Spassky in 1972 had played their famous world championship matches. And so Smith was in Iceland for a chess tournament, and she received a call to meet Bobby Fischer in his hotel at midnight. And they got together, and after an awkward beginning to their meeting, eventually they settled on music as a sort of common interest and started singing songs together. Smith says, and this may be an apocryphal story, but Smith talks about how when Bobby Fischer was young, he used to hustle chess players to make money to go to the rock and roll shows. Now, whether that's true or not, it's well known that Bobby Fischer was a big fan of Chuck Berry and the Beatles, although Smith said that his singing voice was absolutely terrible. She said that he had a tin ear. So we knew about the photograph of the chess table from the Fischer-Spassky World Championship match, but what we didn't realize early on was that Smith had also returned to Iceland after Bobby Fischer's death to photograph his gravesite. When we knew about these photos, we contacted Gagosian Gallery to ask Patti Smith if we could have these in the exhibition. The photograph of Bobby Fischer's grave had never been printed for a commercial edition, and so we were over the moon when we found out that they were going to not only print an edition of both the photograph of the chess table and Fischer's grave, but also donate 2 prints of each to the World Chess Hall of Fame. So Patti Smith now is not only an inductee in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but also now a part of the World Chess Hall of Fame as well. So when we learned that the gallery was going to produce an edition of each and donate 2 prints of each photo to the permanent collection of the World Chess Hall of Fame, we were so thrilled. And now Patti Smith is not only an inductee in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in Cleveland, but also a friend of the World Chess Hall of Fame as well. One of the photographs that I was most excited to discover while we were putting this exhibition together was a photograph of Ray Charles. It was taken by Bill Ray for Life magazine in 1966. Ray Charles, one of the greatest names in American music, was also a formidable chess player. He played a match against Grandmaster Larry Evans that he didn't win, but Ray Charles's Braille chess set today can be found in the Smithsonian Museum of American History. But what was most exciting to me about this photograph was that it doesn't just feature Ray Charles, but also Gwendolyn Berry, who was a member of the Raylettes, Ray Charles' backup singers, who were essential to Ray Charles' signature gospel-influenced sound with its call and response vocals, made famous by songs like What Did I Say, which is considered to be, by many, the beginnings of soul music.
This incredible artwork is actually a hybrid chessboard and piano created by the Dutch artist Guido van der Werf. This is actually the second time we've had this artwork here at the World Chess Hall of Fame. It was part of our inaugural exhibition, Out of the Box Artists Play Chess. During that, we had a live performance as the piano is used in that live performance. It is a chess game created by the Russian Grandmaster Leonid Yudisin. Two players play a chess game on this board while musicians from the St. Louis Symphony played in the background. And as the game is composed, as the players move the pieces, when a note is needed for the piano, the piece is moved like this.
When I was growing up in the 1990s, there were two primary ways that bands defined success in the music industry. One was through record sales, and the other was through plays on MTV. But there was one band that carved out their own form of success through relentless touring and through a style of music derived from jazz and psychedelic rock that had fallen out of favor in the 1980s, the extended improvised jam. And that band was Phish. So it comes as no surprise that in 1995, Phish tried something that I'm pretty sure had never been done before. They played a live chess match against their audience over the course of a tour. To do this, fans gathered at the Greenpeace table to come up with what their next move would be, and a giant chessboard was dropped behind the band, and you can see some of the original pieces here that were used to play that match. So a fan would come up, and they would make the next move, and then they would go to the next location, and they'd play the next successive move after that. Now, depending on who you ask, some people say that the band won the first match that was ever played. Some people say the fans. My understanding is that the band won one, and the audience won one. So during the pandemic lockdown, the band started doing something called Dinner and a Movie, where they started streaming their live concerts and providing with that a menu for people to make food to eat along with watching the concert. Well, one thing they decided to do was to have a rematch against their audience, and they called it Dinner and a Rematch, and they played a live chess match over the internet and provided a menu to go along with that. Ultimately, the band prevailed in the rematch, and artist Jim Pollock, who was a regular artist associated with the band, created a poster specifically for the event that we have here in the exhibition.
Sound Moves Where Music Meets Chess closes January 28th, 2024. To find out more information about this exhibition and our other programming, visit our website at worldchesshof.org.